Hey, what's up everyone? How the hell you all doing? So Atlas just got one of the best reworks to date in Warframe. Before these changes, he was a Warframe that not many players ran with. He was a little bit neglected for whatever reason, whether it was him being a pain in the arse to farm, or players not liking that one punch playstyle, or they simply didn't know what way to mod him. Of course, the one punch setup or playstyle was, and probably still is, his most effective. But now with this rework, he has a few different ways that you can choose to mod this no-necked powerhouse. You can stick to the one punch mayhem, or you could build him differently and have a second option for different missions, like say a screaming Medusa petrify build. I know it's a stupid name, but just hear me out first, okay? Stop rolling your eyes or shaking your head. Up until now, Atlas was all about that fisting, right? Elbow deep in Grenier, but I wanted to mess about with my Atlas and see just how effective he was now with these changes as a crowd controlling tank, modded for range efficiency with a negative duration. I know negative duration shouldn't work, but it really fucking does. This build is all about spamming Petrify on as many enemies as you can get to get all of that lovely rubble, as well as using your casting your rumblers in large groups of enemies as well, because it now does an AoE Petrify around you as you cast it. Now in the footage of this survival mission, I had more duration, primed flow, and of course less efficiency than the build that I finally settled on, which is the build I'm going to show you in a second. But now my Petrify has nearly 27 meters of range, enemies stay petrified for 15 seconds, long enough for you to kill them, more than long enough, and it only costs 19 energy to cast. My rumblers also have a 33.3 second duration. I mean, really? 33.3 games trolling the shit out of me. So the setup works in a similar way to Frost's Ice Wave impedance, but you end up armoured up to the teeth after picking up as much rubble as possible. This is the build that I finally settled on. Of course, you've got the base mods like your Vitality, like your Steel Fibre for bonus armour as well, that added bit of survivability. I've got Hunter Adrenaline for energy regen, or you could stick Rage in there if you don't have Hunter Adrenaline. So with this build you can alter it, tweak it, set it to suit your playstyle. Once you're happy, then of course that is the main thing. With this build, spamming Petrify and constantly getting kills on petrified enemies will allow you to get well up near, or at least to, that 1500 bonus armor cap from that rubble. Petrify of course is also now a cast ability and not a channeled ability like it was before, so if you are running a really low energy cost, like I said, you can spam this as much as possible once you've got a decent amount of energy. So with all of this, you're now a heavily armoured tank that can heal a lot and can keep your rumblers up for half a minute as a distraction, while also bringing crowd control to your squad or to your group. So this whole build revolves around turning enemies to stone and gathering up all of that rubble from his new rubble mechanic. Now the way this rubble works is very simple. Turn enemies to stone with Petrify or by the Rumbler AoE cast, and then kill those petrified enemies. These petrified enemies will then drop rubble. This rubble will heal you for 50 health if your health is a little bit low. If not, then it will give you 50 armor instead. You can keep stacking this armor buff up to a total of 1500, and it will slowly decay over time as well. Now originally the decay on that armor was 10 armor a second, but they halved that in a recent hotfix, so it now drains 5 armor a second, or 10 if you step inside a nullifier's bubble. So right now it is absolutely perfect. You can keep that armor buff really high for a very long period of time. Now an important thing to note is that Atlas's landslide punch ability will give you 75 health or armor from petrified kills, and not the 50 that you will get from killing petrified enemies with your weapon. So you could heal up or armor up a lot quicker using landslide if you wanted to. Landslide is still his best ability in my eyes, but this gives us a different way to run Atlas for those of you who may not, for whatever reason, like punching things in the face. Now you can of course also cast your Petrify on your Tectonics, which is your wall, your rolling wall, and it will increase the speed that wall rolls at and of course the damage that it deals as well. You can also cast your Petrify on your Rumblers to heal them for a percentage of their maximum health. But with this build I think it's more about keeping enemies petrified and killing them than it is about the actual Rumblers themselves. But they do have a 33.3 second fucking duration. And because you're going to be casting Petrify a lot on enemies and turning them to stone, it is worth noting that petrified enemies take increased damage from all sources in the game. So you're going to kill them or deal more damage to them a lot quicker. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of the new and improved Atlas, whether you like him or not. Now, if I could nitpick at one little thing that I don't like or that I dislike, it would probably be the fact that he doesn't have a little bit of an innate vacuum for picking up that rubble, and you need to run around and actually pick them up yourself, or even give them a little bit of a marking so they're easier to see. But apart from that, I think his update is right up there with Oberon's right now. It is incredibly good, and he is really worth having another look at Atlas if you haven't played him in a very long time. Do me a huge favour and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.
I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rockstar.